And there we go. Welcome to the Hypnosis Hero podcast. This is, of course, a special episode. Uh, we have a few people joining us today, and I'm sure many more will want to share their thoughts and feelings around Jim. So we invite you to do that. We'll give everybody a few minutes to roll in because it is a just a brand new live stream. So while we are doing that, let me bring on my friends, Mr. Brian Bate, Mr. Grant Saunders. Voila, there they are.
Live.
Yep, gentlemen.
Yes. Well, what an interesting, what an interesting stream this is going to be. Like happy sad. If that sounds weird.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot better than last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was showing Brian yesterday. I spent the day, of course, being. My family lives about 3.5 hours away. Grant knows roughly where they live because he's driven the highway. So I spent yesterday pretty much going through every episode and pulling out a screen grab of something that we did in that episode or whoever that happened to be on the episode at that time. Just thinking about Jim and all those good things. But we got a few people already joining us. There's Nora. Hey, Nora.
Nora from Ohio. Thanks for joining us today.
We've got Michael Brody.
From Michigan.
From Gaylord, looking forward Michigan. To seeing. I believe that Michael Brody is the mayor of Gaylord. If he's not,
I'm not touching that, Grant.
And of course, our favorite American Scotsman, Mr. Dan Goyette.
Dan, good to see you, and thanks for joining us, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the way this will work is each of you has at least one of us on Messenger. So message us. We will send you the link to jump in, and then you can actually jump in with us live on the screen, and we can definitely go from there. Amanda's there.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good evening. Ever tell you about how I won the debate as to when evening starts and ends?
Oh, Carol from Arizona. Thanks for joining us. So anyway, back to debate on when evening begins.
Well,
and ends.
It's one of those stupid debates that teenagers get into, when they're working drive-thru at McDonald's. One young lady and I, her name was Robin, we got into it, and she was adamant that at 6 p.m. that was it. Evening was done, and we were on tonight. And good evening, Israel. We have Michael O'Clair also joining us from North Dakota. Good afternoon, because I believe it's still afternoon there for you, because it is here in Saskatchewan. I'm directly above you, a long way up. No, it turned out that even before Google, these things called encyclopedias actually had when evening started and stopped.
So careful, Sean, your age is showing.
Between the hour, I know, the big heavy books. Okay, a book has pages. Anyway, long story short, evening starts at 5 p.m. and it ends at 7 p.m.
Ah.
So I was right.
So what's after 7 p.m.?
Night.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Otherwise, we just skip right into morning again, and nobody wants that. That's too early.
Yes, that is too early for morning. Yeah.
So yeah, for those of us that are gathered with us today, there's some folks have kind of wondered why we chose this particular time. So I'll kind of let the cat out of the bag. It was approximately 2:00 on the West Coast that when I received the phone call about Jim, and so that was just I was wrapped in a towel, standing in the bathroom. I had just gotten out of the shower, and just something told me, answer this phone call from a phone number that wasn't saved, and that was Jim's stepdaughter, Yang. That she was just all sobbing and inconsolable, and understandably so. And I thought she had like gotten in a car accident, a little fender bender or something, and it. I couldn't really understand what she was saying. It was just, but everything just rang loud and clear. Like, Jim passed away this morning, and just sucker punch. And I remember, I think it was Grant, you, Sean, and I think Kevin were like the first phone calls that I made, and it just it was like one of those, this is going to hurt me more than I know it's going to hurt you, because I've got to deliver it. But it just, as badly as it sucked, I mean, it sucked for all of us because of the significance of Jim's impact on everybody. He was definitely a special man and whatnot. So, Grant, I remember the words came out of my mouth, and I just audibly heard somebody like sucker punch you. And then you tried to, you was just like a, what? You did your best to do the British thing and be like, all right, I'm going to stay composed. And that lasted all of about, a number of seconds, and we both just lost our shit.
It was one of those that, it's when you look down at your phone, you see Brian Bayes calling. One, that's never a good feeling. And so I remember thinking that ringing at this time, it must be important. And even thinking back to that moment now, we know the importance of anchoring when we're hypnotists, but even now I can feel myself tearing up. It's just the waves of just realization of the pain was just unbelievable. And not just for me. Do you know what I mean? I always feel guilty because I'm British, but I always feel guilty of my grief. I know Jim touched so many people appropriately, touched so many people and had such an impact in so many people's lives. And it was hard. It still is really hard to this day, and that is something that I'm proud of Jim for, because do you know what? It is, probably speaking Masonically, one of the highest achievements that you can attain for as a human being is to have the impact of your loss still felt, not just by direct family, but by friends, associates, and business colleagues. A year later, the pain is still incredibly raw. So it lets you know what a very special person he was.
And it was one of those things that I think it was a combination. Normally I like to say that I'm fairly composed and whatnot, but I kind of panicked. I didn't know what to do. I know that I think at the time, I don't remember if my father had passed or not. Dad was already gone, so I couldn't call him. And then the next thing I thought was, oh God, the conference, what are we going to do? And it was, Grant, you were the first person that I thought of, because it was, the business partnership was there, you needed to know. And then Sean was the next of like, okay, we've got podcast, also conference, and things like that. But, it was kind of crazy. Kevin, I called Kevin Lapine. I was just like, dude, call me. It's important. He reached out, and I just was like, I've got bad news. Pause. This is what happened. And Kevin, to his credit, without missing a beat, just was like, okay. In these types of things, I've got experience here. A couple of questions, and it was like rolling just right into kind of business. And then making sure things are taken care of. And it was also, we didn't have to ask how the family was because, everybody knew.
Yeah.
It's devastating. So for kind of touching back, Michael Brody, for anybody who wants to join us for a story or sharing remembrance or anything like that, if you want to hop on, let us, message one of us. We'll make sure that you get a link to join us on screen. If you do have anything that you just want to type in the comments, please feel free. We'll kind of sift through and make sure that stuff gets read. So Becca's joining us from England, and Becca, thank you for the kind words. That Jim, he absolutely was a great man and always wanted to help people for the better. We saw Israel earlier. Yeah,
it's
Scott.
interesting as well with Jim. There was so much stuff that there was
Oh
so
yeah, I
much stuff
remember
that Jim
calling
had
Scott
on
too.
his kind of list of things that he wanted to achieve, and almost like the universe kind of provides a lot of those in that very short space into the run-up of his passing. He kind of, that box was ticked. He'd got monetized on YouTube. His book had got published. All of these things were great achievements for him that he'd been looking towards achieving for some time. And so nice that I remember speaking to him the day before, and he was so pleased about like YouTube and everything, and getting monetized and reaching that 4,000 hours watch time and all of these things. And so yeah, it's kind of like I'm so pleased he got to experience that before passing.
Yeah, I think Kevin Lapine and I were talking probably a couple of weeks ago, and the topic of Jim, it came up, and I said, hey, we're still seeing his posts on Facebook and things like that, and I said, Sean and I have gone through everything we know from Jim's computer logins, everything like that, to kind of shut everything down, because sometimes it's a little bit weird, and we can't find anything else. And Kevin kind of just in true form, was joking. He goes, God, that guy's social media engagement when he's after, a year after he's gone is still better than mine.
Yeah.
And it's better than a lot of us.
Yeah.
There's no question. Yeah. And, I think one of the things that I remember most was after you had called, it was the same thing. Okay, who do I know that needs to know this? And so I started reaching out, and so it was Chris and Marie Bowman, it was Victoria Gallagher, it was Dan, it was as many people as I could get a hold of all the way through, and
Mark, you're very welcome.
It the same as you, Brian. Like you're delivering probably the absolute worst news possible. And trying to be as gentle as possible about it, knowing that you still have more people to contact. And I can remember, a few people definitely broke down, and I'm not going to mention names.
Yeah.
And you
Oh, come
just
on, Sean. Jim would mention names. Jim
yeah,
would mention
I know.
names hard.
Yes, I may look like Jim Jr., but I'm not Jim Jr.
Yeah.
You have to sit there with those people. You can't just leave them hanging and let them deal with it on their own. There is a shock, and then there's some processing that needs to happen, and then you can let them carry on with what they're going to do. And I do remember a few people for sure that definitely needed that extra moment or two just to process what I was actually telling them. Even okay, I will mention a name, Jim Zellis. I know that our Jim looked up to Jim, although I'm not quite sure they're about the same height. But Jim was a friend and a mentor to Jim, and again, you have that moment where Jim would always post about but first coffee. And then when he finally did make his post that morning, he said, I found out that my friend passed away, and I don't know what to do about it, but first coffee.
Oh yeah, I do remember having that conversation. I was kind of like, I mean, when you receive the news, all you're thinking about in your head is just F F F F F. Everything just spirals out of control. But then it was kind of like, okay, before rumor mills and stuff start going about, because I figured that, with what Yang had shared with me is, Mai had come had come home, shortly after lunch, and just found Jim unresponsive in bed. The
Jim would not appreciate being told that he was unresponsive in bed.
He was physically unresponsive, and the location that he was laying was in his bed because he was really he had stage 4 man cold, because he canceled Christmas dinner plans with us the night before, and I was like getting ready to walk out the door, but something in my head said that, once all the initial panic, 911, get all the emergency people coming out and responding, that I was probably one of the first people to be called. So before we go, and anybody who had to be told, it's like, please keep this to yourself and private, because in the military there have been family members that, loved ones that are overseas in combat areas, that receive the news from social media before a formal notification, and that was the last thing that I wanted, knowing that Jim had some extended family back east. And so it was like, all right, let's try to get everything, keep it a little bit contained, and then, all right, cat's out of the bag, and again, I don't think that anybody did anything malicious or anything like that, but it was really great that we were able to kind of huddle and go, all right, let's get out in front of this. But yeah, it was just, man, looking back, I mean, it's like things have looking at how things have changed, but then at the same time, how things have also stayed the same. So we'll, excuse me, Sean, I'm not sure if we've got anybody in the waiting room, but we got some comments. So Amanda says, one of the most amazing things about Jim was he seemed to know and point out others, quality in their gifts. And he loved that when you hear from people that they talk about how he encouraged them, and cut off, how he encouraged them and let them know they have a gift and that they could see it. And Amanda, you're definitely carrying that on, so with your podcast and everything. But we've got a man with a T-Rex.
Except we can't hear him, and we're looking at the aerial view of you, Dan.
We're over here, Dan. Behind you.
Dan should be able to see way it. Up. That's probably the only time I'll ever get to say that to him.
Michael Brody mentions about the story that remembers when we were looking for Vegas showgirls to have a picture with Norbert. That's it's one of my favourite memories of Vegas, to be fair. And so Chris was in charge of directions, and so we got lost. But it was a great afternoon, kind of going in search of, again, creating those memories. And yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, let me try to message Dan.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
we can
hear you now.
But yeah, your camera is a top-down view of you.
Yeah, I adjusted it and I hadn't put it back down, so it's just right there, way up in the sky at the moment.
Put on pants.
Don't put
pants. Let me walk around and I'll fix it.
Yeah.
Well, while we're waiting there, I believe Chris is talking to you, Grant.
Chris?
Oh,
All right,
Oh,
there we
yes.
oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Those are TikTok folks.
No, it's Chris saying he meant to say you rock, but his autocorrect has changed it to shit.
Yeah, that darn autocorrect.
Yeah. But I think that was Jim's superpower. Don't get me wrong, encouraging people, yes, he was great at that. But connecting people, I think
like
that
Israel
was
said,
his thing. It was
Israel
just
reached out and
lining people up together, and I think that's really, really what made him special.
yeah, Israel says that Jim invited himself or invited Israel out to PHS last year, and
Yeah.
it was just awesome. And Mark Barris, had mentioned a free podcast scheduler. Oh wait, hold on. Oh wait, I was clicking on a different one for Mark. Mark had a really cool thing. Let me scroll back up in here. I think, God, this is kind of a not a bad problem to have, where it's like I've got to scroll through a whole bunch of comments rather than, hey, we don't see anybody on here. So I mean, just seeing the amount of people pop
You
in.
disconnected from TikTok.
Yeah.
Nope,
You're back
now
again.
you're back.
So
anyway,
Dan, you've got something for us.
I do. No, I was gonna say I got a shot. The doctor said it would be fine, but no, I know you guys. I know all you, and Grant's probably gonna be like, yeah, that was his final joke. I know all you guys because of Jim Kellner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that changed the trajectory of my entire, and I will say that my entire career was that phone call that I was just sitting at the computer one day, and the Facebook starts ringing, and I see it says Jim Kellner. I'm like, who is Jim Kellner, and why is he calling? And my first thought was like, what does he want me to buy?
Yeah.
But so I answered it, and we talked. And I'm not like, I don't normally do this if I don't know someone. It was like a 2-3 hour conversation about the Pacific Northwest Conference and other things. And I just listen, man, I am an hour ahead of you for setting up this conference. But the other thing that was great about Jim for me was how instantly we liked each other. It was instantaneous. It was kismet. It was like we'd known each other forever. And so,
Yeah.
and then of course, because of Jim, I met Grant, and so Grant's been regretting it ever since. Like, damn it. And then, of course, Sean, and then I met Brian Bay, and damn it. So, but yeah,
I get that a lot.
If not for Jim, I would not have made the connection with you guys. I would not be going to the summit. I wouldn't have made this. I wouldn't have done that. Because when I went to a conference, I didn't make connections. That wasn't the thing. I used them as working vacations. I would go somewhere, do my presentation, and then go do all kinds of sightseeing. But so, yeah. And still to this day, I'm getting a little choked up here, but I'll be all right. I'll think of something, and in my head, oh, I got to call Jim. Yeah, I can't.
Oh, that sucks the most.
Yeah, and I did that for years after my brother passed away, but and eventually I will remember, unless I have a rutabaga moment. But yeah, so, and then just being around him, just he was a calming effect in my life, because you guys know I get a little cross with my temper sometimes. He was one of those guys. He would just calm me down. He would know, just out of the blue. He would say, hey, I saw this, and you're probably furious and shaking, but just reach out to him and let him know, see what's really going on. So, yeah.
Oh no,
that was, yeah.
No, Nora, as the comment, she says that she remembers Mike texting asking if it was true and that she didn't have any idea. And the fact that Jim was well known enough that people thought this was like a celebrity death hoax. I mean, granted, Taylor Swift wasn't crying tears of grief or writing her next song about him, but yeah, she had waited and reached out to Grant and Anthony and I, and that just kind of, it sucks having to tell somebody. Yep.
Yeah. When Sean called me and said that Jim had passed away, my first response to him was Jim who? So that I was like, Jim who? And he said Kellner. And I think Sean is one of the few human beings to ever see me just 100% shut down silent. So, yeah.
I remember it was Jim that connected me and you, Dan. And I remember he rang me. Me and Jim had a very similar sense of humour. And he rang me and he went, I've got this conference, you've got to go to it. It's in Gaylord. That's all he needed to say. I'm like, Jim, if you think I should be there, then I'll be there. And yeah, it was fantastic.
So
that has always been the joke. There was 27 of us and we were in the middle of the woods. So yeah.
Now Mark shares this was the one I meant to put up earlier, that he gives Jim 100% credit for helping him with the imposter syndrome. When he walked into the hypno thoughts for the first time, Jim made Mark feel like he belonged, and that's kind of what we expect you to feel when you come into PHS.
I'll tell you one of the things that I think he did really well, and this is no slight on other people in the industry. It's just my observation. There's a lot of people that do really well in this field, and it comes with so much ego and so much buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. I'm the all best. Jim did that without doing that. And he catered for those people as well that are, the people that do have imposter syndrome, the people that do feel like, almost the wallflowers, the introverts, the people that are, on the outside. And Jim kind of went, you know what? There's a place for everybody in this field, and help those people go. You don't need to shout the loudest. You don't need to make the most noise. And you can still be a great person by doing so. And I think that's what Jim did. He gave all of us permission to you can be successful just by being yourself, and he encouraged people to do well. I remember the first time I saw him running I think it was a street hypnosis or how to be a badass hypnotist course. And it was so great to see how he delivered it, because a lot of it was about, this is what you need to do. It wasn't, look how amazing I am, look what I can do. It's about, this is what you guys can be doing. There you go, you see.
Yeah, Jim certified me as a badass, just so you know. It had nothing to do with any physical contact, but he did certify me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it's one of them that it's so weird. I mean, Jim was, me and Jim had a special relationship. Those rumors were not true. But it's like we were very competitive with each other in a brotherly way. And so we achieved so much because we were always trying to, even within our own, like Kellner and Sorden's organization, we were always trying to outdo each other. And that really helped. And it's so difficult for me. We've got some projects that were 90% finished. We were supposed to get them published just before PHS last year. But for me, the pain of publishing it or finishing what is a fantastic product, but to deliver it and publish it without Jim, for me, it's just so difficult. And literally, I've just got to press one button to do it, but it doesn't feel right. So, yeah. And I know what Jim would say. Jim would be like, do it now. Don't wait. Do it now. Take action. But it's like, no, it's more difficult than that.
Yeah. I know what Jim would do. There would be a gym-sized boot in your backside and say, "Get on with it."
Yeah.
So there's a tale about Choi never met Jim, but she had asked him to organize organize a birthday cake while Grant was at a conference, and Grant hates being the center of attention. So
yeah, Jim called me. he called me and he said, "Hey, I'm coming to your conference. I'm bringing this guy Grant Saunders. Can you have like a cake there?" I said, "Yeah, I can go out and get like a little cake." I mean, I didn't know what was going on. He goes, "Oh, that would be so awesome." So I bought the cake there, gave it to him, and boom, I have the video, so I can like play that on a loop for Grant. So that was Jim.
I
It's so
believe we
weird.
know we at least know the color that Grant turned.
Yes, it's despite being a stage hypnotist, when I'm not on stage, when the glasses are off and the velvet jacket is on, I love all the attention in the world. But when the glasses are on and I'm not on stage, I don't like to be I don't like attention. and so
Yeah.
and so the moment I saw this cake, I was like, I know what's happening here now. And Jim took great pleasure in my discomfort.
Oh yeah,
Really Choi as well, to be
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah. And Albert, yes, I remember you and I were in that class together. There were two or three others. Evan Baumgartner was in that class as well, that I remember. And yeah, I remember us going out afterwards in the heat and just melting outside because it was like 114 or something like that. Yeah.
yeah. So Becca says I was going through her clothes recently because I don't know, Christmas just happened and it's Boxing Day. She came across the "I Love Pineapple on Pizza" T-shirt that she won. So Jim was able to. So Becca, I sent you a message. If you have I remember you posted a picture with you in that. If you send that over to me, we'll get it to Sean and kind of share that.
Yeah.
And let's see
Looks like Nora's trying to join, so we'll get her on as soon as she
Nola
does.
comes on, I'm going to cry. You know that, don't you?
I think we're all too.
Yeah.
There was a
Yeah.
moment we just had at Dan's conference in Detroit, and it was just literally a couple of moments where we just spoke, and it was just Noah just knew, and was literally I just cried. Yeah, Noah's a fantastic energy.
Mark says he's
Yes.
ironically wearing that T-shirt today because he also won one. Yeah, you know what, Mark? Go ahead and post that picture, and we'll try and grab it and show it. I'll watch for it on Facebook. Or
I think it
message.
said. I think I love pineapple on pizza because I've got the taste buds of a junkyard dog or something like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
but no, it was.
All right, here we go. We're gonna bring Nora on. Nora.
There she is.
Even if her camera's not working, we'll go with audio only because we definitely want to hear you share.
You're on the air, Nora.
Oh. Is that Dan doing it or no? That was Grant. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with the.
Did we lose Grant's audio? Or is
Yeah,
he just talking to TikTok?
I think so.
Grant, are you just messing with us?
No, sorry, I was talking on TikTok then to a good friend of mine. Was asking if we were on a conference call, so I thought with Nola coming on, I didn't want to disturb what was happening there.
Yeah. So yeah, Nora is apparently she is wonderful. She's very patient because she came up to me at the conference, and she just put her hands on my face and went Nopal, because apparently I've been calling her Nora Copel for like years. So
is that like Ted
Yeah.
She just whispered. But I mean, whispered in your ear, "You're a dick."
She just looked at me and went Nopal. I'm like, oh, apparently I've been doing it wrong. So
Stephanie Conkle is sharing that Jim was so much fun. Her goal was to make Jim laugh every time he posted something. He told me at Hypnothoughts Live that I was really funny and he appreciated my sense of humor. Mission accomplished. That was such a high honor coming from Jim. So, yeah.
Yep. The Jim laugh was always something to look forward to.
So Nora, if your audio and stuff isn't playing nice, go ahead and type a memory in the comments. We'll make sure that we get it read on here so that it's shared.
Actually, I was going to suggest just maybe try changing browsers. I know Wave sometimes gets a little finicky about whether or not it's working in Edge or Chrome. So Chrome usually works a little bit better.
Yeah.
Only because Google plays a lot looser with the rules. But that's, why would a Microsoft guy say that? I don't know.
Oh, Scott.
I think it's because it's not Be Live.
Yeah.
Oh,
Scott mentioned Jim's book. And I know, Dan, you said you just bought a book for one of your friends.
yes.
So, yes. And honestly, Scott, I hate to say it, but I think I got the last signed copy. And it arrived Jim should have sent it when he was in Victoria, BC. Would have been a hell of a lot cheaper. Instead, he got home, realized he still had the book, and sent it. I'm sure it cost him like $40 to ship this book to me.
Yeah. Amanda says is saying to Claudia. I remember that Claudia was presenting it at the Michigan conference. She needed a volunteer testing for dementia. What the hell went on there? Oh, so
I remember that Jim did say, "Hey, I've got dementia." The test. I took the test. I'm like, well, yeah, that explains a lot.
It was one of the things I enjoyed most with Jim, especially at conferences, is he did have a way of kind of making you feel like a bit of a naughty schoolboy, kind of, sitting at the back of the class or the talk and just laughing uncontrollably, like till your sides hurt laughing and giggling at the silliest things. But that did just make a massive difference.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mr. Mark Burris, I love pineapple pizza because I have the taste buds of a junkyard dog. Limited edition.
Amanda says it was one of the few times I saw Jim nervous. And yeah, Becky says, "Oi, Jim, where's my book? I'm talking to you up there. We'll borrow the auto pen from the White House."
It's one of the things I really love about the tattoo.
Yeah,
because it means every now and then I get to explain the story to people.
Quick, Grant, quiet. Nora's on. It's working.
Nora's on.
There she is.
Hi, everybody.
Nora, thank you for your persistence and everything. So, all right, send it. You're up.
Oh boy, no pressure. It only took me 19 times, but here I am. Well, I mean, much to the sentiments that all of you said, right? I wouldn't know any of you without Jim Kellner either. I'll first start with Brian, if I might, and break confidentiality, but Brian's already broken it a couple of times on the podcast.
You're going to beat me to it.
I first was acquainted with Brian because Jim said, I've got a friend that needs some help. And well, I was only qualified to do so much.
Yeah. But no, I mean, Nora, I can't tell you how much it meant that, even in talking to you, you're like, if you know any, veterans or first responders and it wasn't any like super crisis. It was just like, hey, let's kind of, finish wrapping up, addressing a couple of issues. So, you were definitely instrumental in that. And, you're good at what you did because, we only needed a couple of times. And,
well, thank you.
I mean, that's kind of, it's a testament to Jim of how he was always trying to, put people together. I think some of it was, hey, I've got gigs and stuff to do. I'm going to be gone. So he was like, hey, let me refer you to my friend.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, I mean, I'll turn it back over to you on that.
And I was happy to help. And the same thing, like with Dan, he said, there's this conference and, you should meet this guy and you should come. And so then I reached out to Dan and said, hey, I understand that you have this conference and I've spoken at HTL a couple times and Dan was like, here, I want you to present, like no questions asked. Jim told you about me, told you about the conference, and Dan, brought me on. And it was at the first Michigan conference where, yes, I was alone in the woods with the boys. I know it sounds really weird. My husband was there. It
Something
was all
about guys
adorable.
not asking for
Yeah.
directions, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. And I was asking, as you can tell, Grant, I've learned nothing. I've learned, right, but I had asked about pointers about being on camera, and he said, "Go talk to Grant." And I'm like, "I don't know Grant." He's like, "Go talk to Grant." So, and that's how I met Grant, was the first Michigan conference, and he's been my hypno brother ever since, as the rest of you are, and it's because of Jim. And I will share just briefly how I met Jim. Um, much like some people, I followed him on his channels for a while because I was just intrigued by what he did and his approach. And for those who don't know, I'm more of a clinical hypnotist, although I was told when I first met Jim Kellner that um, I'm both a stage hypnotist and a clinical hypnotist, and I'll tell you why about that in a second. But um, first HTL I ever went to, 2018, I came down the escalator and he was like, "Hey, are you going with us to do street hypnosis?" And I'm like, "Me?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, sure, why the hell not?" So 18 of
Actually,
us went out.
real quick, Nora. He was
Yeah,
wearing the black shirt with the red writing on it, wasn't he?
he was.
Okay, that's the shirt that started it all, where he was like, "Hey, can
Yes.
you make me that shirt?" That was about that time. So
Oh, really? Okay, yes.
yeah,
So that was a Brian Bay original.
yeah, one of one.
Yeah, so we went out and I didn't want any, I'm not a stage hypnotist, as I kept telling him. I'll hold your camera, I'll whatever, I don't care. I was just
Yeah.
happy to kind of go and hang out, right? Because that's just who he was. Once you're in his presence and you had locked in that friendship, like you just wanted to be around the guy. And
hmm
so I was happy to just have that part to hold the camera. 18 of us went out, and I don't know what happened to 14 of them. I never saw them again. But
Yeah,
four hypnotists.
I remember seeing pictures and stuff like that. I was like, "Oh man, that
It was a
I
lot of
should have
fun.
gone." I wasn't able to get down there for that.
I'll tell just really quickly quick things from that I just think just kind of sum up who Jim was. One of those was I watched Jim Kellner hypnotize a lady on the street there to stop smoking um, through a translator. They came up to us and they said, "Do you think you could do this?" The translator asked, and he said, "Well, that's not really what we do out here, right? Let's kind of for comedy, whatever." And the husband was basically pleading with Jim, and I was recording the whole thing, the whole interaction. And so a little bit reluctantly, because it's really not what we were doing, but Jim's like, "Sure." He goes, "Well," she says, "Do you speak Spanish?" And Jim goes, "Not enough to do
Yeah.
this." And so
Jim spoke drive-through Spanish. Enough
yeah,
to get through the drive-through.
he can order from the Mexican restaurant menu.
Burrito and
Um,
enchilada, is that about it?
Yeah.
there was,
Taco?
Yeah.
yeah. But what was really cool was Jim had a way with people, right? And he talked to this husband and said, "Can you translate for me?" So Jim told the husband what to say, and then the husband hypnotized his wife. And so that was cool. And then the other thing, which I think will make people laugh, was that same night we were up and down Las Vegas Boulevard, and there was a guy that was kind of competing with our space, and he was trying to direct people down to the cannabis store, right
Mhm.
down from us. And by the end of the night, we had him working for us. Um, him and his sandwich board and his megaphone. He was walking up and down Las Vegas Boulevard going, "Free hypnosis, free hypnosis, free hypnosis." So it was a lot
There's
of
a
fun.
cannabis story. Now I'm wondering, I'm like, okay, was there cartel involvement in this? Because Jim was at home by himself.
Not that I'm aware of. Uh, but yeah, so we all made our way back to the, you know, to the Orleans and hung out, and we've been friends ever since. And it was on that walk back to the bus that he said, you're a stage hypnotist. You just don't know it yet. Because I talked to him about a program that I did, and he said, "Why aren't you presenting on that here?" And I said, I don't present." And the very next year I did, and it was because Jim encouraged me, just like you guys talked about. He, was that mentor that said, "Of course you can present. If you just talk to me about it for 15 minutes or so, you've got a presentation, so do it." And thank you, Dan, and the people at Michigan Board, that it's because of that conversation, as you guys might have heard of your conference this year. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to choke up. That I am honored to have the inaugural Jim Kellner Award for Innovations in Hypnosis. So I couldn't have done it without him.
So Jim actually kind of helped me come up with that name, Innovations. We were talking about the awards. He was originally on the planning board, and I said, I want to have an award that no one else has. And we were just spitballing, and just the word innovations came up. So it seemed fitting, but yes. So, and we're happy to have you have it. So, I could have given it to Grant, but
Grant would have been worthy for sure. Look at that. Mine's at the office. I don't have mine here in my living room. Mine's at my office.
My fragile ego means I can never be more than a hand's length away from an award.
Do you carry one around your neck on a lanyard, Grant, when you go to
Oh,
conference?
yeah, I have one in the boot of the car, one in a little satchel here, one that's folded up in my pocket that I can unfold.
Appropriate. Very good.
Yeah, no,
well, your ego isn't so bad.
Sean, I just messaged you another video picture.
Yeah, one of the lessons I think we can all really learn from Jim is Jim did never see himself as a natural leader. He didn't want that leader role, but he saw so many people that had these goals of things that they wanted to do, that they needed someone. He had to. The role was almost thrust upon him. He needed to kind of do that in order to help those people do it. And I remember being with Jim in Vegas a couple of times when it's like, right, let's go. Whoever wants to do street hypnosis, meet at this place at this time. And his biggest frustration is everyone would meet together. So massive egos and big names in the industry would all meet at a certain time. And then everyone would look to each other and go, what next? What next? And Jim would be like, you've got to lead people in order to help them have that permission in order to make that next step. You have got to take the step first. And you know what? It's kind of, especially for people in the industry like ourselves that, have a certain reputation now, there has to be a point where you go, I have to assume that role. I have to take it. I'm not going to wait for it. I have to take it. And that's what Jim definitely did. And by doing so, he enabled so many people to go on and do their own things. And I think that's a sign of a true leader. It's not someone that wants to lead. It's someone that actually takes on the responsibility of helping people move forward.
Well said.
So Carol's in gym clothes, so the workout gym. But
I was gonna say she look a little odd in Jim's clothes.
Yeah.
Now.
but she did. Let me close it. She said, I wish I had something funny to share, but hers is more appreciation for Jim. And it says he was the first person to reach out to her when she decided to learn stage hypnosis a couple years ago. And he took the time to encourage her personally and connect her with other great mentors. And now she gets to live her dreams. And she's performing down in Mexico at a pretty cool resort. And she says that she almost gave up and that Jim kept her spirits up, several times. And, she's got 2 years and 30 shows so far, and that she's grateful for Jim's encouragement. And Carol, you're going to present in 2027 at PHS. So save your pennies, bank up some time and everything. And
I believe they use pesos down there.
Yeah. It's
Saddest.
Who knew that margaritas were a form of currency?
Exactly.
All right, we have another picture.
Yep.
There's another T-shirt sighting.
Yep, Becca's in. I think that was Becca the first one to win that wasn't really a raffle.
I
It was more of a
believe she
draw.
was, yes. It
Yeah,
was either that or she was the first one to win the hat, because there was also a hat as well.
That's
yeah.
right.
I saw, who was it that posted the picture earlier wearing the t-shirt?
That was Mark Barrett.
No disrespect, Mark, but if you use the picture of Becky, you might sell more t-shirts.
Oh, that's a very unfair. Who wore it better? So no, it's Sean. We got a video, don't we?
Yeah, one of the things that I did do was I did yesterday spend some time alone pulling as
Got some
many
feedback going
videos
on.
as I could. Getting some feedback. Okay, that's either me or somebody's got a speaker close to a speaker. Let's try that.
Okay, is that better?
Still there.
Oh.
Okay, let's do this here.
All right, more better? No, not more better. Well, the captain's going to make it so.
Well, there's always something, right?
Let's see. All the
How's that?
all the volume's off on my end.
Yep. No, how's that?
Okay, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I hate to say it was Nora's microphone, but that's okay. We'll whenever you want to talk, we'll bring you back. Okay.
So we're going to give everybody the preemptive go grab a Kleenex or a shirt sleeve or something like that right now.
what are you planning, Brian?
Don't get smoke detectors go change.
Yeah.
All right. So
That's not my gym porn collection.
no, this is my gym collection. But first we should figure out who this guy is, right? So I think we start right here. Let me know if you can hear it.
I am your hypnotist. I'm hypnotist Jim Kellner, and I want to introduce you to hypnosis, or reintroduce you, or just help you to continue your addiction to this wonderful tool that's available to all of us. And if you're watching right now, please chat down below. Let me know if you can hear me. One of the bad things about this, I can't necessarily check the sound. I've got a little bar thing over here, but hey, there's Natasha. I can see it, but I don't know if it's right or not. Anyway, I am your hip.
One of the things and one of the reasons that I connected with Jim, well, first of all, it was in the Hypno Hustle with Scott King, and then Jim and Brian. I think you guys were having just a heck of a time with the sound and whatnot on the Friday night hypnosis. And I said, you know what, guys, like, bring me in. I can sit behind the scenes and do all that stuff for you, so that you could concentrate on interviewing your guest.
But between Jim had me on, and he goes, hey, you'll be my guest. All right, cool. We had fun. I'm like, all right, cool. All I had to do was plug headphones into the computer and call it good. And Jim was kind of like, okay, and just kind of like what I've been doing today, looking around, managing all the comments and things like that. So it was like, with Jim, it was like 3 rocks and an abacus. He was trying to make a whole podcast out of that. And that's awesome, where he was able to delegate that and recognize that, all right, hey, we're doing some different things. And Casey, check your Facebook Messenger. I sent you a link to join us.
All right. So some of the guests that we've had, Wendy Friesen. There's that Jim guy. Oh, there he is again. His funny little side smirk.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe Jim hypnotized himself. He's really concentrating.
That was right before he gambled on a fart and lost.
When Jim thought Clubhouse was going to be the next big thing. There we go. This, I believe, is still Friday night. Yeah, Friday night. Jim looked really tired. Might have just got back from a gig, but he still looked pretty. I mean, he had the hat, so.
Mm-hmm.
Jim didn't want to be on camera, or his camera didn't work for that whole entire episode. So I figured, you know what, let's pull it. And Jim at least persevered through some of the technical issues that happen from time to time.
Amanda's laughing with me at that. Chatting with a couple hours on her show just the other day, and it was like I could not get my camera to work. So,
yeah, and there's Jim when he really liked that moving background and wave, and there's Brian's first appearance.
That was much better looking back.
Young Brian there.
I know it's.
You realize that was only like 3 years ago, right?
I know.
4 years ago, 3 years ago. Jim hoping it works. There again, those dynamic duo. Then they didn't want to look at each other for a while.
Oh God, Dan Hedrick. So Jim actually connected me with Dan, and we met at we filmed the Street Hypnosis Mafia training video for Justin James down in Seattle, and that's where I met Dan for the first time. And Dan is just an amazing guy. I can't say enough wonderful things about him, and he's hilarious as shit as too. Just looking through this, I'm like, my association with Jim has just enhanced my life so much. Oh, that's Monet.
Yeah, Monet, who has now gone worldwide with her.
Yeah, she's been. I'm not sure if she's still abroad or
traveling
overseas.
She is. She is still, yes, but okay. She is actually in, or she was in. Oh, where was it? She was with Albert Ehrenberg recently.
Yeah, she was going across Europe.
Yep, she was. Oh, Grant, you disappeared completely.
Oh yeah, I just it said your live had ended.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
TikTok said enough of this.
Yes. See if you can find you again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll watch for you.
Is that a real mustache there, Brian?
I don't know. Let me look it on the. Holy.
What is that, Brian?
Oh. That had to be we'd have to go back. So Nora, help me remember. Was that like an end of November time frame that we had you on? Because I remember I grew my beard out for like a week, 10 days maybe, for sort of like the no shave November, and then just I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna do the big Fu Manchu all the way around just as a goof.
Yeah, that would have been.
Really suits you.
That would have been, I think. Go ahead, Grant.
I was going to say, I think that really suits him. That makes him look masculine.
I think that was right after my book came out. So yeah, that would have been the November time frame. 2020, 2021, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, some things shouldn't be re-seen.
Oh no, we still have a few more to go yet. Don't worry.
Oh,
How's
wow.
that?
Yeah.
That looks like America's
So,
most
oddly
wanted.
enough,
I'm like, did I lose a?
yeah.
Oh God, there's a.
Remember, I'm in Canada, so
Okay, at least that one
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll do like a goatee or something like that. But
Yeah, that definitely comes under the something like that.
yeah, I think shortly thereafter I was like, all right, we're not going to do the overhead lighting of the kitchen. We're gonna.
Do you know what I've always said? Because I used to not have a beard, and then since having a beard, I thought I would never go back to not having a beard. I think all men should have beards. Having seen you with a beard, Brian, I think you do well to not have a beard. Yeah.
Antonio was commenting on something. I'm assuming that who knows? It might have been
Did
mentioned.
someone say
on-
CIA mind control rays?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
not as far as you know, Ant.
They were probably saying, Brian, shave the beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that was me going like, no.
There we go. Technical difficulties because everyone's on YouTube now. So that must have been one of those ones that I first started attending.
All right, wait, go back, Sean. Go real quick. So Sean on the left.
Yes, this is Sean. I'm
Yep.
also a Sean.
So in that picture, Sean is the one who answered the door to that hypnosis meetup group that I went to for the very first night that I met Sean and I met Jim, and they were just interesting folks, very welcoming, very friendly, and all that stuff. So, and Sean, if you have not seen him in person or had him, I mean, this guy is like the Jedi master of patter. He can just come up with stuff off the top of his head. It's like a freestyle rapper of hypnosis stuff. It's really awesome to watch him work.
Yep, and actually, when we were at Hypnothoughts, Sean was there with him. And that would have been the first time that I would have met Sean because Jim, in his infinite procrastination ability,
I waited for you to search the word. I was like, nope, wisdom's not this adjective we're looking for.
Jim forgot to book his hotel room, and so that's how he wound up staying at the Gold Coast, and how he knew about the Gold Coast. And so all of their equipment afterwards, when we went to the 80s party or whatever, one of the nights, all went to my room. So here's Sean and Sean carrying all of Jim's equipment upstairs to Sean's room.
Yeah.
So.
God.
The night that Jim almost lost the ability to resist pineapple on pizza.
Oh, if we could go back to the moment where Jim's face kind of like he shakes his head. He's like, wait, hold on. Let me snap out of this. But Bob is another just phenomenal guy.
Yeah.
Actually, I use clips from this and from Bob's second appearance, Brian, in the course that I teach for the University of Louisiana.
Oh wow!
And it's everybody's watching, and then they're like, "What the hell just happened?" I said, "You missed it. Let's watch it again."
Wait, Scott says something.
The automatic marketing was his way of fighting procrastination. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, and a funny Bob story, and I know we've told this one on the air a couple of times, but and Scott will know this because he was the involved in all of this. Scott was talking to a young lady, and they were having a conversation. I was standing beside Scott, and then Bob was standing beside me, and I could hear everything that Scott was saying, which was all conversational and trying to kind of follow it along. But here's Bob, play by play, and Scott did this, and she has no idea that Bob and I are standing anywhere close to them. And you know, and Scott did this and this and that, and did you catch what Scott just said? You know, it's like, well, I would, but you're still talking. Yeah, back and forth all the time. So, but that was actually a pretty remarkable conversation. So, yeah,
That could actually be really cool to watch a conversation that's recorded, and then have Bob come in and be like, "Okay, here we're gonna stop, voiceover, go back. Hey, this that let's review it again." That type of thing. I mean, maybe that's just my way of learning, but
yeah, and yeah, Scott said this was a phenomenal night. It was, because I remember Scott was really poking at Jim about you know, you could be that hypnotist that overcome his distaste for pineapple on pizza using hypnosis.
mm-hmm.
I remember that. There's me trying to teach Jim and Brian a new word.
I was aware of the word, just not the spelling.
All right. Looks like I doubled up everything here. All right, and then we get into some more guests. So we had Wendy Friesen. I think that was one of the first ones. I was behind the scenes because I remember this, even though it says 2 hours. I'm pretty sure there's another hour somewhere of Wendy that we went 3 hours for sure with her.
I think that was probably afterwards. You know, we'll usually chat with our guests for a little bit after everything, clears off the live broadcast, and I was just full of questions.
Well, I know, and the good news is she wasn't measuring any one of us, so.
Oh man, like I can hear Scott King laugh. Let's see, hold on a second. God, I lost my. Take away my admin power. Oh, there it is. Brian, when me or Bob give a play-by-play of what the other is doing, it's always great. Yes. So, Scott, you should come to PHS.
And
I
was just about to ask the same, Casey.
Yeah,
Wendy, did have some challenges, I think.
because last time she was it the southern coast of Spain or Portugal or something?
From what I understand, people haven't heard from her in quite some time. Nice.
Let's see.
There we go. That was from some other guy's first or second appearance.
Yes.
Mr. Purple.
Remember staying up extra late for that one. Oh, fantastic. That's great news.
Another book launch. There we go. By Tim Barlin. And there we have Michael Brody.
The Michael Brody.
Who apparently is a first timer, according to Grant. All right. Apparently, I took a lot of screenshots. I remember this episode because it was just me and Jim for the first time, and I think Brian, either you were sick or you were on assignment with a particular organization that you were working with. But yeah, Jim and I just talked about hypnosis all night.
Look how young you look, Sean.
Look at how much hair I had.
Yeah.
And
Well-
you see this here, and you see this here, and then you see this here. Then it's like, okay, guys, you know that Jim was the one that said, just cut it off already. Did we lose Brian?
Oh, he's back.
There
Okay,
he
so
is.
the laptop just restarted spontaneously, and then I popped back in, and I heard, and then Jim said, "Just cut it off already." And I went, "Maybe I don't want to be in here anymore."
Timing is everything. Timing is everything, right?
Let's see here.
What?
There's Benito, who is very active on TikTok. Does a lot of hypnosis live. This must have been an early episode because I'm still wearing my school division shirt. And there's Scott and Jim. You know what? I think if I remember anything from this episode, we all three of us would pick out the same thing, and that is Claudia's voice. It was just the perfect English accent, the perfect lilt to it that I think all of us just kind of said, "Oh, okay, this lady knows what she's talking about because she's British."
Yep.
We don't say that about you, Grant.
No, we don't.
One that I did on my own with Desiree. Yes, Matt Dixon. Actually, Matt was another one that I did that I couldn't find an actual screenshot for. So there's Becca with Jim and
Becca
Brian.
been on as a guest.
Yep.
I think that was one that we would alternate between kind of like the therapeutic side one week, and then we would go do more of the comedy stuff. And that was one where it was late. Becca wanted to do some of the silly type stuff, but she couldn't speak because everybody was sleeping in her house because it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning when we were on. So it was just some little, here we'll snap, drop down, sleep, open your eyes, giggle uncontrollably, that type of thing. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And Sean, real quick, can you pop a message to Casey on Messenger? She's having some challenges with Google, with Chrome.
It's giving her.
But it's iPhone stuff, so I'm like, I got nothing.
Now, if it's iPhone stuff, I'm not sure that I'm going to be much better at it. But okay.
If it's iPhone stuff, it should just work.
Yeah.
Well, some people can't afford a proper PC, or they can't have that, good expensive, Android. They got to get the app and the iPhone, and it's hard, Grant. You can't pick on them too much.
Yeah,
I still maintain that Windows made the best phone when Nokia hopped on board. That was probably the best built phone ever.
Yeah. All right, Casey says she's
the old Bakelite ones where you had to put your finger in to make the dial go round.
No, Casey's
that's older tech, and now you're dating yourself, Grant. That's like modem time.
Oh,
that one.
Yeah.
He's dating himself. No. Let's we're all there. I think because I wouldn't call people if you had a 0 in your phone. I wasn't reaching to the bottom of that thing.
For those of us whose birth years begin with 19 and not a 2.
You know what? When
That's most of us, I think, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I get into a new classroom with students, I always tell them, look, you're not going to get anything past me. I was born in the last millennium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when rotary phones were
what do
a
you
thing.
mean?
So
Salish, always a great interview with Salish, who we'll see down at PHS. Of course, Kevin and his book launch. We had him on a couple of times, actually.
Yeah. So that's another one I met through not Grant. Go for the love of God.
The
I'm
other
doing
one.
it. I'm
Jim?
looking at pictures. Yeah, Jim. For the longest time, I superimposed these. It was like Larry and Larry from the show, and I'm just like, I would call Grant Jim and Jim Grant all the time. But I met Salish. He gave me some really good advice and on stage hypnosis. And I was going to do this college, and he just looked at me and said, "Well, you been doing bars?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, don't do the college." And he was right.
No, Salish is another just wonderful guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And
All right. Stephanie saying yes. I say I was born in the 1900s. Yep.
yeah.
Well, I still have some of those shirts kicking around here.
Which ones are those?
These ones?
The one that Jim's wearing. I made those for the very first conference. And it's like if you came to that for You Got a Polo with the original logo for the Michigan conference, which had the worst name in I think the history of conference names, which was My Hypno Conference. I thought I was being cool.
It was a great name.
That'll work.
I've got one as well. That's
Yeah.
I wear it with pride on laundry day.
And obviously, Colin, if anybody knows Colin, he's obviously said something. What it is, what it was, I don't know. I have to go back and check, but
something that made my brain hurt.
Yeah. But knowing Colin, I mean, that could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
There we are.
Oh, and then Danny. Yeah. Danny was doing the video camera the first time that we all went out. I think it was that farmer's market it just outside of University of Washington on University Avenue, and that's where Jim was laid me down in the street, and not on the sidewalk. Nope, right in the street.
Really?
So, and then Danny is the one who basically presided over Jim's memorial. So, and the lovely Casey. So how are you doing, darling? That's you, Casey, not Grant. Please tell me she can hear me, because this would be really awkward.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are.
We can hear you. Can you hear us, Casey?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
Can you hear us, Casey?
So
you can hear us?
Okay, we heard the
big
wow.
delay. Let's see. I'm hearing you on my phone, but not on my computer, which is what I'm on now.
Oh.
So let me check my microphone.
Okay, and there's Amanda. I know this episode was a little bit emotional for you there, Brian.
Oh yeah, that was she did the we were just talking about this the other day. She did the not past life, but it was the telepathic. Amanda, help me out here.
Mediumship.
Yeah, it was. It was wild because she, we don't live in the same time zone. This is the first encounter that I've ever had with her. Nothing, whatever. And she tells me about, and she did this a couple times, about, my next door neighbor that was killed overseas on deployment. And I was like, okay, this is so oddball. Like, nobody's going to be able to get this. And I went, but that just blew my mind. And that brain is still scrambled a little bit from that. But I've got a question. Casey, if you can hear me, how is Mr. Brewster Bear doing?
All right.
No, we got to.
He's good. He's here. He's hanging out in Aspen today. There's no snow, so there's no skiing.
Oh, there's the boy.
Hi.
I'm going to mute myself. I have to take a call here.
Yeah. So for the folks that are watching, you're going to see the Performing Hypnosis Summit morale officer. He's the official, unofficial mascot of the conference. So he's just an absolute love bug of a dog, and hypoallergenic too, which is kind of awesome. But he'll come up to you and just ask for some pettings. He wants some lovins. And let's see, Amanda says it was hilarious to me that I didn't. Are you saying that I didn't believe in it, and I was worried that I would embarrass myself during the readings, and then yeah, that was
Boxing Day too.
Yeah, that was kind of wild. I was like, "Are you sure?" Because and Amanda, I think I had, if I remember correctly, I think I'd watched an episode, a special from Chris Angel a number of years ago where he goes, "Oh yeah, the psychic mediums and this you can do. It's easy to do a cold read and some things like that." So it was sort of like, here's kind of a general thing of how you do it. And you let people kind of guide, but I mean the sort of the specifics, the accuracy, and other adjectives as well that you just hit it spot on. I was like, oh, okay, maybe there's something to this. But what is it? Casey Norris says that the Brewster is too cute. I'm inclined to agree. Becky said he's so cute, want to give him cuddles. I'm not sure if she's talking about Grant or
she's talking about
the
me,
dog.
Brian.
He really is.
So either way, she'll have to come to PHS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to have to shoot in about literally a couple of minutes. I've got one bar left on my battery.
Yeah. So
it's been fantastic. I tell you again, it's a testament to Jim and the work of everyone really for this as a podcast, to get together such a broad spectrum of professionals, from people that are, a little bit woo-woo, to people that are very scientific, to people that are performers, to people that are hobbyists, the street hypnosis, kind of bringing everyone into that same camp of hypnotists and genuinely good people. And that was one of Jim's special talents anyways, connecting people, and doing so on the kind of Hypnosis Hero podcast again was just again a testament to it. It was always about raising up other people and shining the light on them, not on themselves. So, and that's a great thing that we could all try and do. But yeah, absolutely is very much missed, and the pain is always going to be there, I believe, for a lot of us. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna have to shoot now. Casey, really great to see you again. Looking fabulous as always. Brian, great personality.
Grant, you're number one.
Thank you. But yeah, I think we all share in the pain of Jim and that. And I'll leave you guys. I will try and get some charge in my car. And I'll watch this as I go back. For those that are joining us in PHS in a few, in less than a month's time, I'll see you there. And Jim Spirit will definitely be with us in Vegas. So guys, much love from this side of the pond to each and every one of you, and to those watching as well. And I'll continue watching this from the car as I get some charging. Take care, guys.
All right, take care, brother.
Oh, wow.
Okay, good. He's gone. All right. So anyway, Grant, when you see this later on, I love you, brother. Yeah. So, no, that's. I think Grant really hit the nail on the head with, the spirit that Jim had in his, or the spirit of Jim's vision is what we're really trying to carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of guys who got hit in the head.
Yeah. Well, I think that was the episode that you messed up behind the scenes and they let you know it.
There's the book launch, Kevin's book.
Yeah.
Yep.
That would be this one here.
Casey, yep. Mark Barris says that Brewster needs a webcam. And
like a GoPro, just like put it on him at the conference and let him go.
It's just a 360 cam on him.
Oh yeah.
Not a hockey puck. It was actually two immovable objects, one of which was moving. I was carrying in, and I think Scott will remember this. I was carrying in two of those 5-gallon.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, two of the 5-gallon water jugs, and slipped with one, and I actually hit the front of the deck with my eye, and it didn't really want to move for some strange reason. But the only thing that it really came out of it was I had to get a new pair of glasses, which are these ones here.
So nature had to prove that Sean was not the unstoppable force.
Gravity worked. I proved it.
Yes. So the thing that is interesting me is that as I'm seeing Brian here, that like these videos were like 2 or 3 years ago. He looks like he's like 20 years younger in these, which is really interesting at this point.
Oh, what an asshole. I think I say this every show or every time we're on. I'm like, with friends like these, who needs enemies?
It's all good.
And then who was...
This was my co-host from a few years back on TikTok. We would go live Sunday mornings, Chanel, from South Africa, who is living in Portugal and is, I believe, still living in Portugal.
Okay, yeah, I remember one of our guests was in Portugal.
Yeah, that would be Chanel.
And she's the one that does the retreats that is like in this resort. I'm going like, God, why would you ever
leave there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. This is me and Matt. This was his very first podcast, I believe. So he did a good job. And then right back to it with a couple of Canadian guys.
That's U.S. versus Canada.
Yeah, and Jesse lives about 3.5 hours from where I do. So Grant probably drove past his town at least once on the way to and fro when he was over here.
Oh God! See, more. Look what you guys started. I couldn't pick a Brian A or a Brian B out of a lineup. They look nothing like today's. I'm not sure if that's a backhanded compliment or. And then there's Scott King. He looks 20 years less mature. That's more accurate. Oh, fair. I'll give you that.
This would be us talking about the Performing Hypnosis Summit that we just would have finished. I'm not sure if that was the first one on the ground or the second one. Yeah, it would have been the first one on the ground.
Yeah.
Vinny Briggins, of course, I think he's also spoken at Michigan as well.
So, yeah, I remember Jim call. Oh, there's the hat. That is the hat.
This is a toque.
Yeah.
Say it with me.
You got to hover your mouse.
All the Americans, say it with me. Toque. And the story behind this is you have to remember this was at HypnoThoughts. So this was July in Vegas. It was like 114 degrees. At the end of the badass hypnosis before we went out to do the actual street hypnosis, I had mentioned, I think, a couple of times on the podcast that I was going to bring Jim a toque from Canada. Well, here I am running through the airport, and I realized, oh damn it, I forgot to buy Jim a toque. Because normally we would do that in like September or something like that when all the cool styles come out. So I'm frantically looking, and sure enough, in Vancouver, there is one store that had a toque. And then there's two different models, and this one was the biggest and loudest that screamed, "This came from Sean." So I bought it and I took it down to the States for Jim, and and then he lost it for a while, or maybe my hit it. He wasn't quite sure, and then he brought it out again. So this is him bringing it
I think
out
this
again.
might Nora may have explained why my had hit it, because he wore it off and went hiking with her.
Yeah. I remember the PHS. Jim called me on the phone and Facebook, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, it's ringing," and he goes, I answer it, and he goes, "Hey, buddy," and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be good." So he's like, "Listen," he goes, "Hey, you want to do a pre-conference? Because nobody wants to go up against." It was one of the big names. I think it was. I can't think of his name. He's in acting now.
Nobody wants to go up against.
Terry.
He's
Terry Stokes.
Terry Stokes. You're like, yeah. Nobody wants. He's like, everybody's like, nobody will do a pre-conference against Terry Stokes. I said, well, it's not against him. He goes, well, you know what I mean? It's like, having one or two there, but nobody will do it because it's Terry Stokes. And I said, oh, I don't care. I'll go. I'll put one together. Of course, we didn't get any tickets, but because it's Terry Stokes. But he's like, hey, I really appreciate you falling on your sword like that. Like, well, for you, Jim, anything. Just I always knew when he started a conversation with, hey, I'm like, oh, he's warming me up for something. I'm about to be buttered up. Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, and Richard Cole, of course, was our keynote last year at PHS. He's got a little bit of extra growth on me. We'll see if I can catch up by January, if I decide to keep this. This was Tommy Girolamo, and he's not even here to say, hey, good job at least trying to grow something.
There you go.
In like 3 days. This one was an interesting conversation between Jim and Dwayne and myself. I've actually now I mentioned the course that I teach that at the University of Louisiana. Dwayne is actually conducting studies right now and looking for people who want to participate in said study, and it's based around the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton and epigenetics. And the ability for us to actually look at, or not necessarily look at, but alter our DNA to the extent that we can actually improve how we exist in the world. Let's put it that way. It is a really cool study. It does take a little bit of time. There is some journaling and lots of meetings to attend, and then a lot of extra courses like mine that you could also attend. If you want more information about that, feel free to message me. I will gladly get you in contact with Dwayne. Our next semester starts in February, I believe, so a little bit of time between now and then. What are we doing here? Let's see. What else do we have? John Sorbonne. He was still probably one of the best imitations of a lot of guys, including Rodney Dangerfield. If you ever get a chance to meet John in person, tell him I said he needed to do his impersonation of Rodney Dangerfield. It is absolutely spot on.
He gets no respect.
None at all. None at all.
I'm losing to a rug.
Marlena. I think we're getting close to the end here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I met her at PHS. Not PHS, excuse me, Pacific Northwest. when I think she was out there,
That would be right.
and that was the year. Yeah, that was the year that first time I had pot stickers, which I called another name, and Jim just kept that for the rest of his life. So,
Do I even ask what the name is?
I was gonna say I'm reluctant to ask, but I almost feel it's necessary.
So I called them pot lickers. I said, I've never had a pot licker before. And Jim just thought that was the funniest. Yeah, you can't tell on the look on my face, but that night I remember I was sick. I don't think I had much of a voice on that particular, but I did it because,
Wait, hold on, Sean, if only he had a certain product. It may be a sponsor of Performing Hypnosis Summit.
Something like this?
Yes. If only I could have saved my voice. Casey, is just looking at that like, why is he wearing? I'm. You know what? I was thinking, am I wearing the same Baja in that?
you have a small collection of these, or a rather large one?
I got a large one. This is my go-to. It's I like being loose in my clothes. I don't like feeling all hemped up.
That's the Scottish coming out. Wearing loose clothing and keeping things aired out appropriately.
Yes, I mean there's tradition to be held here.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was dumplings. So.
Oh, I don't have the heart to give a nickname after seeing dumplings.
So,
as long as we're all not part of the apple dumpling gang, that's.
So, hashtag foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Oh wow, the weather! I just popped up the weather forecast. It looks like we're hovering around that rain snow mix out here.
So, it would almost be time to pull out a toque.
A toque.
A toque, yeah. That's all we had here today. Was we started with freezing rain, then it went to hail, then it was the that kind of frozen snow. That was my weather today.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I could have gone cross crunchy skiing if I did that sort of thing, but I don't. So
I prefer walking.
I still see no reason to propel yourself either vertically or horizontally on just two sticks.
Me either. It's like friends of mine are like, "Hey, you want to go snowshoeing? Why would I want to? If I don't hike in the summer, why would I want to hike in the winter? I know."
Yeah.
Oh, remind me of his name. I remember Kung Fu Kendra just because
Dr. Steve G. Jones.
That's right.
Yes.
No, they were both pretty cool people.
So, and then, well, I know Casey was on here, weren't you, Casey? I mean, you guys have got to have a picture of Casey.
Casey was a little bit earlier, yep.
All right.
I think that was one of the. I think Jim actually kind of roped you into doing that one, didn't he, Casey?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
here's Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It was good.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah.
That was my Everett Silvertips jersey. I'm looking at that going, what was I wearing? And then I was like, wait a minute. All right.
Why would you have a Silvertips jersey? Oh, come on, man. I don't know.
Because the city of Everett is just to the north of me, and they've got a great the Western version of the Canadian Hockey League. Says the WHL.
Yeah.
So they've got
they would play teams like the Saskatoon Blades and the Regina Pats and.
Yep.
Actually, Broncos.
I remember
PA Raiders.
I think it was Jim that said, "Oh, you should have Casey on your podcast, Dan." And early on, when it was still the Hypno Cafe, and I went on and we're doing the podcast, and you got going, Casey's like, "Oh, I'm whatever. Oh, well, you can edit all this out, right? With all the my language." I'm like, "No, we're live." You're like, it's like, well, yeah. Like, didn't Jim mention that? No.
Let's see. So we've
But
got.
it was good. It was fun.
So the overall standings for the Canadian Hockey League, Everett Silvertips are number 1. Prince George is number 5. Saskatoon is 9. Regina 19. Moose Jaw is not faring much better at 17. I'm just going to leave that here, Sean.
Yeah. So I played AAA hockey when I was younger, when I was like 16, 17. And I was that guy. 5 minutes for high sticking, 5 minutes for slashing, 5 minutes for roughing. I was not what you would call a smooth puck controlling kind of guy.
I was not what you would call a skilled player.
Yes, I could put you into the boards.
Enforcer is a more.
Yes. There's Dr. Jody.
Yep. This one, I think, Brian, you were sick. Jim was. I think Jim had a gig that night, so I took that one, and then the next week we were able to get together with Albert, if I recall correctly.
Oh, good old Albert, yeah. So,
if
Dr. Jody came to the Michigan this last year, and Grant fell into the wall laughing so hard because I had done. She was like doing a little thing there at the conference. We're doing a live video, and instead of calling her Dr. Jody Solberg, I went, and we're here with Dr. Doty. I completely messed, and Grant just fell into the wall laughing.
Yeah, that.
All right, hang on here. I got somebody else who wants to hop on here. Let me grab the link.
Yeah. Is this a wild man that's coming on?
Albert? No.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna be hopping off here, guys. And so, I've got to take care of some things. There's something making a noise here in my house, and I think I've got to look into it. I've been ignoring it for about the last hour or so. But
I thought that was Grant's smoke detector.
Yeah. So I'm going to let you guys get on with this, and I will see you guys at PHS.
All right, thanks so much, man. And Happy New Year, brother.
Peace out.
This is Jim's official last podcast. This was Monday of that week.
Oh yeah, it was right before we went into the holiday.
Yep. Yeah, the 23rd, 22nd, somewhere in there. With Albert Nierenberg, which was an absolutely stellar interview. Albert was again Canada versus the United States. But Albert's a really cool guy, and actually he was out, like I said earlier, with Monet, doing some different presentations and whatnot. So, and that brings us to 1 year ago today. As soon as the screen refreshes, there we go. And that was us 1 year ago today.
Yeah, I think the way I remember it was after sharing the news and delivering it, having the conversations as many times as I had, I was like, okay, I'm good. I had, like the good little Boy Scout, prepared something in written form that I could follow. And we were chatting beforehand, and Sean said, okay, and we're live. And I went, oh, this was a bad idea. And every bit of composure that I had just slipped away like, the sands of time through your fingers. It was yeah, it was definitely one of the things we needed to do. I could not have asked for 3 of the other greatest people to go through that with. And yeah, all seems kind of like a blur. Nick, Casey, did I call you, or by the time I got a hold of you, somebody else had reached out to you with the news?
Sean called me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I had messaged you because I was trying to get a hold of you, and you're like, yeah, Sean got a hold of me and whatnot. So, Mark said, Brian, you're magnificent speaking at his service. Yeah, that was the Nora. Yeah, she said, appreciate seeing our faces that night. And yeah, Mark talking about the last podcast that Jim definitely wasn't feeling so well, and I had joked about like, oh, I just gotten over the stage 4 man cold, but yeah, it was talking to him Christmas Day, or I think Christmas Eve, and then he had texted me Christmas Day, and then the service. That was kind of a second version of a year ago today. Like it was like, all right, I'm ready to go. We've got all the stuff that we need to do. And then actually kind of speaking of his service, I really, really applaud everybody that attended. We did have that unexpected disruption that I think was just so classless. Words are difficult to describe it, but everybody was patient, kept their composure, and we rolled through it. But yeah, I remember reading through the Masonic work portion of the service. At the end, it was, I kind of get choked up, and my friend Brent, that was standing on the other side of me, the opposite side of Grant, I just hear him kind of speaking out through the side of his mouth, going like, keep it together, you got this. And reading those final words where we say, until next time, dear brother, farewell. It was like that pregnant pause. I'm like, I don't want to say this. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. And then it's just kind of like, all right, but we have to. So I'm still kind of getting choked up, reliving that, as I'm sure a lot of us are, with our respective memories of Jim. But earlier this year, because we're still in 2025, I think that's really what made this last conference so much more special than any other, was that it was kind of like everybody coming back home and really getting together. So it was so wonderful to see everybody, and I really look forward to seeing everybody in 2026, because I think it's just going to have, it's always going to have that bit of an aspect, I think, for at least several more years to come. And yeah, we all did well at the service, and that's the one. Yeah, Nora can't believe it's been a year, and it seems like it happened yesterday, but then also it seems like it happened 20 years ago, all at the same time.
No, and I think that's why Jim is kind of special. He was able to effortlessly connect us together in such a way that it was a natural fit.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think that in many cases, those types of that type of meshing together would take years, and Jim did it in moments.
Yeah. And it's kind of one of the, I'd say the cool things that we have, being able to do a live broadcast, or be a part of Hypnosis Hero, is we get to meet a lot of people, whether it's through the screen, or it starts through the screen, and then we get to go to a conference and we get to meet them in person, and it just makes things all the more familiar, because you've got something to be like, oh, hey, remember when? How are you doing? It's good to hear about. Um, it's, I feel very fortunate.
Yep.
And to be able to do this. And I know there's there's a fair amount of work that goes on behind the scenes. And Sean, I mean, you definitely take on the bulk of that. So I am grateful for you as my friend, as a co-host. And Casey, I am grateful for you and Brewster, and I am so proud of you for getting your first shows this year. And I can't wait to hear you speak at the conference. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh wait, hold on. Let me get a wee.
Thanks.
Anything that you want to say, Casey?
I'm on a 7-second delay, it looks like, for some reason.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't sure what to say about Jim. He was such a sweetheart. And he really, all the things that were said today are exactly him. And the bringing people together and not always trying to make a buck off everything, just genuine concern and just open-heartedness that he had was pretty incredible. I'm grateful for having known him for even just this years I did. And I'm happy that you guys are keeping the dream alive. It's really important. So thank you.
No, and we're really happy that you're being a part of this too. And you ride the successes and struggles right along with us, and you're always there to help out however you can. And that's one of the things I'm grateful to you for. So it's get ready for January, because there's plenty of big hugs when we see each other at the casino. And if for the folks that are able to make it, I really encourage you guys to, if you guys have some Christmas money, airfare I think is going to start going on sale again. And we did get a word from the hotel that they've gone ahead and extended reservations out for up until New Year's Eve. So I read that yesterday. So we're gonna book your reservations, get your hotel, all that stuff, and just come out and see us. We really be a part of a wonderful thing, and kind of a movement that Jim started. So we can't do it without you guys.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't know, I think we planned to do about like 30 or 40 minutes, and we're a couple.
But like Jim, the time didn't really mean anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we really didn't have much of a time limit. It was just sort of a, hey, we're gonna give everybody the opportunity to speak and share, and we had just such wonderful participation.
Yep.
So, but yeah.
Nora signing off. Nora, Happy New Year. Scott, it is at the Gold Coast, the hotel and casino.
Yeah, same place last year.
same as last year. I think I had some time driving up here this afternoon to really kind of sit down and you know, even yesterday going through the different episodes with Jim. By the way, we're at 100. This is if this is an actual episode that we're counting, this is like episode 105.
We'll give it
Jim,
that.
Jim was you know, involved in about 70 of them. We've talked about Jim as a leader, as a friend. I think the best place that we can leave it is Jim as the seed. You know, when a seed falls to the ground, yes, it essentially dies, but then it puts down roots and new growth comes from it. And Jim's goal was always to touch 1 billion people, not directly, touch 1 billion people using hypnosis. And I think we are all part of that legacy, and we're all part of that new growth that is you know, is and was what Jim, you know, just embodied everything.
Is that your creative way of calling us fertilizer, or just me?
No, we're new limbs, we're leaves, we're other things, not the fertilizer.
No.
Man, it says he really did have that work ethic, and he, absolutely he did. You know,
Yeah.
Jim was you know, I remember some of his videos at the gym at like 5 o'clock in the morning and whatnot, and I'm thinking to myself, like, Jim, how do you have that much energy? Like,
oh, he didn't. That's because Mai would get up and it had to be at work at some ungodly hour, and she was like, "But I don't want to drive. That's why I have you." So Jim was his own internal Uber
yeah,
for the family. And
yeah, you know, and just
Shit.
that, but that was Jim, right? And I think that's where we leave it. That was Jim, and Jim was something to each of us, and we each have a piece of him. So, yeah, I think we'll end it here with you know, what Jim would normally say.
oh, fuck, it's gonna make me cry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hypnosis Hero, the only podcast that I know of where we do an interview and then we do live hypnosis with that guest.
And on that note,
Do you have
his
the
only
closing
other
one?
statement- His only other statement, and I think I said last time that was going to be the last time I was going to give Jim credit. After this, it's my statement, but and Jim would approve. Jim always ended off things by saying, "Take care, stay well, and be awesome." On behalf of all of us, Happy New Year. May 2026 be an explosion of blessings for everyone.
And of health and prosperity to us all.
100%. Till we see you, we're going to sign off and have an awesome end to 2025.
Stay free, everybody.